Hello everybody, my name is Ben the Human and welcome to Herald of the Mists. This is a demo of it's an RPG kind of text adventure game. I saw this a little while ago and it's a demo I've kind of wanted to try on the channel. We have a little bit of space between a couple of my series, so I was like, why not give this one a try? Be prepared for me to make terrible voice acting a central theme of this playthrough. Should be fun though, huh? Diego of the Mist started a rebellion for the third time. For the third time? You let him stick around 3 times? Determined to end his defiance, the queen dispatched her army led by Kai the Written into the mists. Neither Kai nor the army ever returned. That's great guitar. The queen has tasked you with uncovering the fate of her lost forces. Enter your name. Benjamin. That's my whole name. Don't wear it out. Attribute points. Strength. Dex. Strength allows you to wield better swords and heavy armor while also improving your chances on strength rolls. Dex allows you to use better bows and daggers while improving your chances on dex. And will allows you to use magic and spell books. I kind of like the idea of being like a samurai ranger. Bow requires 2 dexterity though. Longsword requires 2 strength. I see how it is. You get 3 items too. Leather armor does seem useful. Mana potion, health potion, and sword. We're not gonna do any magic here. We get a skill too. Shower an enemy with a rain of arrows dealing half damage to all enemies. Only bows and crossbows. I think let's build into bow. And we need to bring arrows too. I would like to have a sword. There's not much I can do to get around that. What if I take off armor and I have a dagger too? Just in case. Because you can't really use a bow up close, huh? Bow bash. I guess that would be your melee weapon. I think rain sounds cool though. Let's get that. We're speccing into a ranger class here. Maybe we'll get a sword later. Mountain Pass. The color of the Ascendant's throne, a set of 9 moons in the sky, turns blue, marking the beginning of the 3rd month of the year, and also the beginning of your journey. Standing atop the mountain pass and gazing at your destination, you understand why this place is called the Mists. The entire region is shrouded in a thick veil of fog, so dense that even the light of the throne cannot pierce through it, sorry. Through the veil, the only things you can make out are the dark silhouettes of nearby trees and a tall tower rising on the horizon. It's late. I need to rest before continuing my journey. Oh, cool. So we could mouse over stuff for more lore. The 9 moons in the sky, each one is different size and changes color every month. To end the war with the second corner and unite all of Barang, Kairaken ascended to the largest of them and made all 9 moons his throne. I don't understand, but okay. Oh, just a second. Sorry about that. All right, it's late. I need to rest before continuing my journey. You walk down the pass and look for a place to camp. Before you find a suitable spot, your eyes catch a faint light flickering a short distance away. The fog prevents you from seeing the source of the light. It might be another person setting up camp, but as far as you know, there is no one living up this far. Dice rolls. You roll dice for actions with uncertain outcomes. You roll 2 6-sided die and add the relevant attribute. If the total meets or exceeds the target, you succeed. Okay, so it's a simpler version of D&D. It's a 2d6 system, so it's like weighted towards the middle. In dialogue, you can see the target and your chance of success. The displayed target already accounts for your relevant attribute. There's only one way to find out. Walk directly towards the light. It could be something dangerous I'd better approach without making a sound. We have 83% chance to succeed. We roll the 7. Is good. Using the fog to your advantage, you carefully approach the source of the light. As you get closer, it becomes obvious that it is a campfire. You stop at a safe distance and you see a hooded figure resting by the big fire. The figure sits on a tree trunk and extends one hand towards the fire, a long sword leaning on their shoulder and its tip on the ground. The figure doesn't seem to notice you. They seem to just be camping. I'm just going to approach without making any sudden movements and make it clear I don't mean any harm. Hi, I was looking for someone to rest. May I join you? The moment you step out from the fog, the figure startles, swiftly reaching for the hilt of the sword resting on their shoulder. Stay where you are, the figure warns, and from the voice you understand that the figure is a woman. Don't take another step. I don't move. The figure scans you from head to toe, trying to figure out if you are dangerous. Who might you be? Truth? I'm Benjamin, and I'm the Herald of the Queen. I come from Gart. She moves her head in surprise when she hears the Queen. That's so, she says in her soft voice. I'm Maia. Unlike you, I'm leaving the mists and going to Gart. She makes a hand gesture for you to sit. What is the Herald of the Queen doing here? When you sit across, you examine Maia. Some of her black hair peeks out from her hood, partially obscuring her face. The remaining portion appears quite dirty. Her eyes are light blue like the Ascendant's throne in the sky. Her gaze is stern and her shoulders broad, and you realize she is missing her right arm. Ooh, nasty injury. I've come to find out what happened to the lost army. Maia's eye twitches when she hears of the army. I see. She might know something. Do you know anything about it? No, she says, dismissing the question. They passed by the outskirts of my town years ago. Haven't seen them again. You feel like she is lying. I've heard some rumors, though. What kind of rumors? Her blue eyes watch the dancing flames for a moment before turning to you. They say that the army betrayed the queen, she responds quietly. And Kai now serves Diego instead. She pauses for a second. I can say that much at least. Nonsense! Kai is the queen's most loyal soldier. I know. Maia smiles faintly, realizing the absurdity of what she's saying. Mists carry all sorts of nonsense around. Her smile fades. Sometimes they even make you believe in it. Where was your town? I'll probably investigate if the army passed by. It's in the west of the fifth corner, around 3 days' walk away, called Cloud Fishers. Not too far from here either. Follow the northern road after crossing the pass, she advises. A rather small town, but it's safe. The fifth corner is Barang's fifth and the Mist's first official settlement. It was founded by Oswald Laran, a devoted follower of both Kyra Khan and his daughter. Even long after his death, Laran's steadfast loyalty continues to echo through the fifth corner, a place that has resisted all involvement in the rebellions of the Mists. Well, there you go. Return to the other questions. Why are you leaving? Maia takes a moment before responding. There's nothing left for me in here. She stretches her legs, extending them forward. I used to be a mercenary, but things changed when I lost my sword hand. She indicates her missing arm with her remaining arm. I have to build a new life for myself. I believe Gart will offer a good opportunity. How did you lose your arm? A small melancholic smile spreads across her face. I undertook a difficult task that was beyond my capabilities, and I paid the price. She pauses. I can say that much at least. I mean, I'm not going to belabor the point. Gart is a big city. I'm sure you'll find something to do there, especially if you are following the teachings of Kyra Khan and his daughter. I do, and I'm a member of the Church of the Family. She raises her hand to her face in a graceful motion and then directs it towards the Ascendant's throne. The Church of the Family worships both Kyra Khan and Nyantara and argue that the two cannot be worshipped separately. The majority of the population is part of this church, and the greatest reward for them is to become part of the Holy Family. Serving them and strengthening their rulings are their primary duties. Traditionally, this gesture means allegiance to the Queen when performed with the left hand, to Kyra Khan with the right hand, and both when using both hands. I'm guessing you are too, since you are a herald. Oh, they're asking him if I'm religious. I'm also a member of the church. I'm a member of the Church of the Ascendant. The Ascendant is the singular and true God. No, I'm a member of the Church of the Daughter. I don't refuse the Ascendant's holiness, but I only follow the Queen's teachings. Frankly, I don't follow the teachings of any church. I've seen the Queen up close many times. She has a sacred aura, that's for sure, but that's not enough for me to worship her or the Ascendant. We don't have a lot of will. I'm not sure about my beliefs yet. The Queen's herald who doesn't worship the Queen. She raises an eyebrow, looking disappointed. Surprising. I doubt the mists will clear your mind. Other questions? What can you tell me about the mists? She sniffs, tossing a twig into the fire before responding. It's nothing like Gart, I can say that much at least. People are cold and distant. Most worship the Ascendant, but they're not fond of the Queen, though the Written managed to change that a bit. Kai the Written is the Queen's most esteemed general and a folk hero. He played a significant role in the defeat of Diego of the Mists, strengthening the Queen's rule. Unfortunately, he disappeared along with the army. The Fifth Corner still supports the Queen. I can't say the same for the Mist Dwellers and the Liberated. Pagans of the Mist, they recognize neither God nor law, and the Mist Dwellers are one of the major settlements of the Mists founded by Diego the Betrayer. Makes sense. Thanks for the information. Now you tell me, what news do you bring from Gart? You detect a hint of longing in Maia's voice when she mentions the place. Despite the war, the loss of the army, and all other adversities, the city remains stronger than ever. Queen Nayantara has already formed a new army and dispelled suspicions among the corners. Or it's in a tough spot. The disappearance of the army in Kai has understandably stirred up unrest. Both of these things can be true, so I will say the first one. It's nice to hear that. Honestly, the recent events, Diego's escape and the army's disappearance, have made me anxious about the possibility of another dissension. Since Kai Rakan the Ascendant moved to the throne and handed the rule to his daughter, he has descended twice. The first time was to deal with a plague, and the second was to shield Gart from the Mist's uprising. During each dissension, the Ascendant's throne turns blood red. Floods sweep across the shores and the mountains tremble. The main goal of the Church of the Ascendant is to prevent the next ascension. I hope not. Maia nods thoughtfully. She looks at the throne as if to make sure it's not red. I guess we'll see. It's getting late. You better get some sleep before the morning. I nod. Can I spend the night here? Please do. It's always safer to spend the night with someone in the mists. Before she starts trying to sleep, Maia looks at her sword leaning on her shoulder for a moment. You must have some coin. You're the Queen's Herald after all. Would you like to buy my sword? She pulls the sword slightly out of its sheath, revealing the gleam of the metal. It's of high quality and I have no use for it in Gart, especially since I lost my arm and I can't wield it. I'm sure it would be more useful to you. I can give you a good deal. Let's examine the sword. The craftsmanship of the sword indeed looks impressive. Despite its size, it doesn't look overly heavy. The leather-clad scabbard in the hilt features silver engravings. It's evident that it has been well maintained and the steel remains shiny and edge-sharp. But where did she get this kind of a sword? How much do you want for it? 30 coins. What do you say? What do I have? Do I even I have 50. Okay. I could make a will roll and try to convince her. I don't need it, but I'll take it anyway. Pass. Fine, she says in a dissatisfied tone, reluctantly extending the sword to you. 20 coins, take the sword and give her the money. Great. Although Maia has handed you the sword, her eyes remain fixed on it, as if she might reconsider and snatch it back at any moment. Instead, she silently offers you a blanket and then lies down beside the tree stump where she had been sitting, pulling the blanket over herself. You do the same. Before closing your eyes, you gaze at the sky, observing the mist-shrouded stars and the Ascendant's throne. You think about the mists, the army, and your mission. I kind of wish instead of having, it takes 3 strength to wield, holy cow. I kind of wish instead of the dagger we had gotten armor if we were going to get a sword. Success in your mission means gaining the Queen's favor. Gaining the Queen's favor means a comfortable life and a special place at the Ascendant's throne after death. But is that what you want? I want to spread the Queen's wisdom and majesty. I want to bring peace. I want to explore the mists and uncover its mysteries. Embark on an exciting adventure. Be someone like Kai. I don't know what I want. I mean, honestly, peace would be nice. That seems good. As you watch the mist gradually grow thick enough to blanket the throne, your eyes begin to heavy with the weight of sleep. I close my eyes. Nighttime. You wake up to a morning with the mist clearing. Your body is aching from the hard ground, but you feel reasonably rested. The fire has long since gone out, and Maia has already left. But you are not alone. In the trunk where Maia was sitting, 3 men are now seated, each of them wearing dark green armor with long capes touching the ground. The man in the middle has long black hair and is busy sharpening a piece of wood with a knife. The bald one on to the left is munching on something, and the hooded figure to the right is watching you. Good morning, says the guy eyeing you. The others shift their focus to you, too. We got a bit worried you might not wake up. You sense trouble. I sit up without any sudden movements. Who are you? We are Knights of the Mists, the man in the middle says with a gruff voice. His pitch black hair falls down to his shoulders, his face clean shaven. You've heard about the Knights of the Mists before. They were law enforcers in the Mists, initially loyal to Diego until Kai the Written won their allegiance. The man gestures with his knife towards himself. My name's Vol. Then he points to the bald man. This one's Fury. And then he points to the one on the right. And this one's Bulk. And he turns back to you. And who are you? I'm Benjamin. Nice to meet you. And what the hell are you doing here, Benjamin? I'm coming from Gart. I was sent by the Queen herself to investigate the Lost Army. After a few seconds, the three men watch you with surprised expressions. The exchanged glances between Bulk and Fury don't escape your notice. They don't believe you. I understand, Vol says, and then he changes the subject. We're looking for a woman, about average height, blue eyes, and missing an arm. We think you might just know where this lady is. She usually introduces herself as Maia. Well, why are you looking for her? She's a murderer, Vol explains. He pauses in frustration when the bald man, Fury, starts making swishing noises while eating some kind of fruit. Annoyed, Vol exhales and continues. She killed more than 7 innocent people, and we've been chasing her for a while. What are you gonna do when you find her? We'll make sure she pays for her crimes, Vol explains simply. Bulk can't hide his grin. There's nothing like the Knights of the Mists. These are nothing like the Knights of the Mists you've heard about. I don't want to get involved in trouble. I'll tell the truth. Yeah, I met her last night. She told me she was going to Gart. These guys will probably kill Maia. I shouldn't tell them the truth. What do I have to gain? Yes, I met her. I can tell you where she is headed, but you're going to answer a couple. I honestly don't, like, she was fine. I don't know. I don't trust these dudes. They just seem like they're up to no good. So I'm going to lie. Or at least, yeah. Well then, how do you have her sword? Shit! I found it! Yeah. I found it in the forest. I've got this incredibly strong gut feeling that you're bullshitting. Vol motions toward the hilt of his sword. Come clean and save us all the hassle. The woman is a murderer and there's no point in protecting her. No. Is she more important than your life? I prefer not to put her in a difficult situation. All right, have it your way, Vol says with a hint of disappointment. He casually tosses the knife and twig aside and then unsheathes his sword from his belt. Simultaneously, Fury and Bulk reach for their weapons, taking stances. It's 1 against 3. Prepare for a fight. I think I'm going to get myself killed. Vol moves slowly and carefully to your left. Fury takes his position on your right, and Bulk keeps a bit of a distance while preparing his bow. Oh, you got a bow, you son of a gun. Combat is turn-based. You have 3 action points, and different actions consume varying amounts of AP. Don't forget to equip your items. Have I not done that already? I would like... Yeah, definitely bow. I would like to use these. And then attack Bulk. They've smacked me. You missed me? Ah, fudge. Oh my god, they're killing me, you guys. Bulk is dead. Then Fury. Again. We're in deep trouble, guys. Dead. Missed. Oh, he missed me, you son of a gun. Toast. I killed 3 dudes. I'm unstoppable. I am very wounded, though. All right, we got arrows back. We got a bow, a sword, a health potion, thank God. And then we got a sword, one-handed sword. Okay. A couple one-handed swords, actually. Dude, I can't believe I wasted 3 guys. The three men fight fairly. They rely too much on their numerical advantage and underestimate you. As a result, all three men end up on the ground. Bulk and Fury are dead, Vol wounded. Vol groans in pain from the deep wound in his stomach, coughing and writhing. He expects you to finish him off. He doesn't beg for mercy or plead. There's not even anger in his eyes. He simply watches you, waiting for the job to be done. I don't want him telling other people. I think I have to finish him off. Yeah. Leave the rest to nature. You drag the bodies one by one and hide them. Few people spend much time in these parts, so the bodies are likely to remain undiscovered. There are 3 ways to save your progress. The first is manual saving, which requires an ink item. The second one is resting, either by setting up camp or staying at an inn. And the third and final way is praying at a statue of the Ascendant or the Queen. The game will autosave when you reach certain points. Time to hit the road. Can I, patch myself up? I'm missing 9 health. We've reached a fork. As you come down from the mountain pass, the air starts to warm up. The trees are now less dense and the fog is thicker. You don't have a map, and even if you had one, the fog would render it almost useless. You will have to rely on your senses to find your own way. Continue forward. You arrive at a fork in the road, one path curling to the left and the other to the right. Standing at the very center of the split is a wooden signpost. Beneath it, something dark rests on the ground. It looks like a pile of rocks, but it's hard to make out exactly what it is. Get closer. You notice that what lies in the front of the sign isn't a rock, but a human. The body is seated with back leaning against the wooden sign, legs stretched out in front. Its head hangs limply towards the ground, clothing stained with dry blood. Check to see if they're still alive. Then, bending down beside the body, you check for a pulse, but no luck. You realize the figure is a woman, maybe in her 50s, and she must have been dead for maybe 2 or 3 days. Judging by the bite marks on her neck, it seems like she was killed by a wild animal. The peculiar aspect is now how she has been left here, almost as if deliberately placed. You wonder if it could be the work of Vol and his companions, but that seems very unlikely. Search for belongings, they won't be of use to her anymore. You check the woman's pockets and the small bag on her back. Among your findings are a couple of lockpicks, a moldy piece of bread, and a few bug-infested fruits, and a small note. Not every item takes up an inventory slot. Some will fit into your backpack. Weapons, armor, potions, and rations occupy a slot, while others go into your backpack with a few exceptions. Click on your backpack to view its contents. Oh yeah, medallion, journal, coins, bedroll, and ink. I gotcha. Let's read the note. What are you talking about, Amy? The note reads. You've really lost it, woman. What do you think you can do in the mists? Kyra Khan knows what happened to the army there. You turn the note and continue reading. The army is no more. It disappeared along with our son. Oh, she came to find him. Perhaps. We told that fool to stay home and take care of his own life, but he was obsessed with Kai. Kai this, Kai that. And now that he got what he deserved, don't drag this on any longer. Come back. I don't want to lose you to the mists too. Please. We'll take the lockpicks. Take the rations that are still edible, and then leave the body. Oh! On the sign's left side, you can make out the words Cloud Fishers. The right side, however, is obscured by dust and tree branches. As you extend your hand to clear it, a sudden growl from behind startles you, sending shivers down your spine. When you turn around, you come face to face with the murder of the elderly woman, a leopard almost as large as a bear. It approaches you slowly and cautiously, keeping a watchful eye on both you and the woman. I will cast a harmless spell to scare it off, because that is the highest percentage chance of winning. Please roll good. Oh, I don't own any spells. I take it back. Approach the closest tree and climb. That is not a good roll. As you slowly approach the tree, the creature also moves closer to you with cautious steps. You're about to make a quick jump to the climb, but before you can even try, the leopard jumps between you and the tree. Stand still. Your heart pounds, sweat pouring from your forehead. The surroundings fall silent. Birds stop chirping and the mist thickens, yet you manage to stay completely still. The leopard lunges forward. You shut your eyes in fear. It takes a moment to register that you are still upright. When you cautiously and slowly open your eyes, you find that the leopard has passed by and distanced itself. I watch him go away. A little further away, it turns its head, observing you with an eerily human-like expression that sends shivers down your spine. Instead of a mere instinct-driven wild creature, it seems like a thoughtful human being, sizing you up. With that, it vanishes into the mist. Was it a druid? Or something like a druid? It takes a moment to catch my breath, and then I check the unreadable part of the sign. It reads compass. Well, Cloudfishers is where the bad people live, right? I should probably camp. I would like to eat food so I can heal. Let's go for 75. That was a fun noise. All right, we're back up to full health. Now, let's go to compass, I believe. We made it. As the sun begins to set, the colors of the throne grow more vivid and distinct. While you waver between setting up camp for the night or pressing on, the silhouettes of several buildings emerge from behind the veil of mists. Must be compass, you think to yourself. Continue forward. The mist thickens as you move forward, its color growing darker with each step. Massive fires lit at the settlement pierce through the mist, creating scattered yellow patches in the haze. When you get close enough, you realize these are not just ordinary flames. Their color is much deeper orange, and their movement patterns resemble the motion of mist rather than normal flames. They look like orange mist pushing against the dark mist. Enter the village. At Compass, you are greeted by chaos. People are running back and forth in haste and panic. The sounds of strange fires is drowned out by shouts and screams. You notice barrels, weapons, and makeshift walls being carried from place to place. As you move through the turmoil, no one seems to notice you. A group of young people practicing with swords catches your attention. The way they grip their weapons is to show how inexperienced they are. This is likely the first time they have ever held a blade. At the very center of the village stands a statue. It depicts a human figure with its back turned toward you. To your right, you notice a crowd gathering in front of a two-story wooden building, all shouting. A woman is desperately facing the crowd standing at the forefront of the building. You approach. They won't attack during Dreadfog, the woman shouts at the crowd, though her words do little to cut through the noise. The brown-skinned woman has cropped wavy gray hair. Her sharp features give her the appearance of someone in her 40s. We have more than enough blower, she shouts again. No one can touch us. Dread fog is a fog that cloaks everything in a shroud of darkness. And then we have enough blower. A rare, precious ore that when burned emits a orange light strong enough to pierce even the thickest fog. That's enough, she finally snaps, silence falling. Either disperse now and get back to work, she says, raising her index finger in a warning gesture, or I'll deal with you myself before the soldiers get the chance. You watch as the crowd disperses unhappily. You stand still as the crowd disperses around you. The woman notices you and studies you as if trying to figure out who you are. Who are you? I haven't seen you before. Her tone is tense. Introduce yourself. When they hear the word Herald, the people around you pause in surprise and look at you. A moment later, they glance nervously at the woman and then return to their tasks. The woman tries to hide her surprise but fails. The Queen's Herald here! She looks you up and down. At a time like this, she gestures for you to come inside. Come, let's talk inside. I follow her inside. The building, as neglected inside as it is outside, was once an inn. Now all that remains are dusty tables and chairs piled into the corners. The counter stands empty and the floors are filthy. The windows, grimy enough to make curtains unnecessary, muffle almost all the noise from the outside. In the center of the inn, people sit in a rough circle of chairs, deep in discussion. They haven't noticed you or the woman yet. I'm Agnes, the woman introduces herself. I'm the mayor of Compass. She extends her hand and drawing your attention from the group to herself. Did Quan send you? Quan? She grips your hand firmly. Good. Oh, no, I meant it was a question. Good, then you might be useful to us. Unless she's happy that I didn't come from Quan? I don't know, man. She turns her head toward the group who are still in discussion. Come, let me introduce you to these poor souls. Yeah, I'll follow her. Agnes gestures you to an empty chair among the circle for you to sit and steps into the middle, interrupting the group's discussion. The four people in the group turn their eyes to you and then back to Agnes, expecting an explanation. Apologies for interrupting your debate, Agnes says, pulling a small pipe from her pocket and packing it with tobacco. Allow me to introduce our guest, Benjamin, the Queen's Herald. He's here to help us. The group shifts their attention to you. Actually, I'm not. The Queen's Herald, a young man from the group interjects before you finish. You're from Gott, then? Yes, but I wasn't looking to help you. I'm looking for the army. The young man gives you a startled and peculiar look. Even so, Agnes says to you as she sits down, helping us might aid you in your mission as well. No, Agnes, another voice cuts in. An older man with unusually long white hair and beard glances at you sideways. Are we really going to involve a stranger in our problems like this? What is going on here? Our lives are being threatened, Agnes explains, exhaling a plume of smoke from her pipe. Unjustly so, as you might expect. She leans forward, smirking faintly. And out here, there's no queen to defend our rights. So will her herald stand up for us instead? It depends. If you truly needed my help and I can be of assistance, then of course I will. Yeah. I'm a good guy and all that. Agnes evaluates your honesty with sharp gaze. She turns to the young man who spoke earlier. Eddie, go ahead and explain. The problem is the soldiers of the mists, Eddie explains, the young man appearing to be in his 20s and has brown hair gathered in a small tuft atop his head. His thin beard and eyes match the color of his hair. They're claiming we haven't paid our taxes, but we have. Now they're trying to force us to pay again. Why did they claim you haven't paid? That puny tax collector disappeared, that's why. Oh, that was Agnes. That puny tax collector disappeared, that's why, Agnes says. She wipes her nose with her arm and leans back, crossing her legs. He took our money and vanished, and now we're the ones at fault. Disappearing seems to be a trend around here. The mist determines your path. Oh wait, I gotta look ahead at who's saying this. The mist determines your path, the old white-haired man says, even if it's a dead end. What kind of help do you need? Finding the tax collector would be quite helpful, Eddie says. Agnes lets out a deep breath and looks at Eddie. I do love the innocence of youth, she says, and she turns to you. Only Kyrakan would know where the tax collector is, and he's not here, so don't bother looking. She leans forward. We need weapons, a lot of them. Eddie opens his mouth as if to interrupt, but Agnes raises her hand, silencing him. The adults are speaking, Eddie. You don't really mean to fight soldiers of the mist, do you? Exactly what I mean, Agnes says. I'm old, and I've seen enough tyranny from these so-called leaders. I'd rather die defending myself than give Glenn a single coin. What about us, Agnes? What if we don't want to throw our lives away like that? Agnes turns to the other two people in the room. What do you think, Oswin and Tom? You listen to them. I want to show them that they can't easily exploit us, says the white-haired man, whose name you've learned is Oswin. Tom, the broad-shouldered, stern-faced black man who hasn't spoken until now, says in a deep voice. Agreed. Let's say I find you weapons, what will I get in return? Our deepest gratitude, Agnes says with a sly grin. It may not mean much to you right now, but I have friends in the mists is important. And money, of course. Tell me the story from the beginning and then I'll think about it. Let me tell it, Eddie asks for permission from Agnes. She gives him a slight nod. His name is Verdun, Eddie begins. He comes every 3 months to collect taxes, either in coin or blower. He's not exactly a friendly man. Agnes cuts in with a wicked grin. He means the bastard's a pimp. I like Agnes, she's funny. Eddie clears his throat and continues. Glenn has been raising taxes constantly for the past 2 years. Every time Verdun comes, he demands more from us. Well, I know what blower is. Why is he raising taxes? Because why wouldn't he, Agnes asks. A tiny helpless village with no military power. How could he resist exploiting it? This Verdun, what does he look like? Pale white skin, bald and bulging eyes. And he has a fondness for dressing fancy, Agnes adds. A belt studded with blower stones, silver bracelets. The last time Verdun came, he demanded twice the usual tax, Eddie continues. Of course we refused at first, so he shouted, threatened us, and then stormed out of the village. Then he returned with a few soldiers of the mists. We knew this would happen, so we had already gathered the rest of the tax and paid him. He took the payment and left us alone. And then he disappeared. A few days later, other soldiers of the mists came asking where Verdun was. They searched the entire village, turned everything upside down. And now, Eddie says, letting out a deep breath before continuing, they're demanding payment again. We refused. They gave us a few days. If we don't pay within that time, they're threatening to ransack the village. How many of them? I've only killed 3 guys. I can't take 7 at once. 7 of them. It may not sound like much, but the Knights of the Mists are not to be underestimated. I'm sure they've already called for reinforcements, Agnes adds. Then she turns to you. Things are dire, as you can see, Herald. What do you say? Will you help this desperate and pitiful village? I'll see what I can do. Perfect, Agnes says, clapping her hands together. Eddie, keep training people with the sword. Oswin, make sure no one's screaming and shouting in front of my building again. Tom, continue tending to everyone's needs. Agnes turns to you. There's a dread fog tonight, Herald. You can't travel. You can stay in one of the rooms upstairs. They're not in the best shape, so my apologies. I say it's nice to meet them all and look for the room upstairs. As you stand up and leave the group, you notice Eddie looking at you as though he wants to say something. The young man seems to be holding something back, too hesitant to speak. Climbing the stairs and settling into a room upstairs, you hear the group downstairs arguing among themselves. Although you can't make out the exact words, you can tell Eddie is against the idea of fighting and is trying to convince Agnes. I mean, they'll just come back and take more money. If they don't fight back, they will continue to be oppressed. Exactly. Like, if you just give them what they want, they're just gonna keep asking for more. At some point, you gotta put a foot down. For now, you decide to put off the problem until tomorrow. In the room you're in, there are 2 beds separated by a small table in the middle. The room feels unused, covered in dust. On the wall, where the bed leans against it, there's a window. The dread fog outside is making it difficult to illuminate the room, so you light a candle on the table. You get into bed and try to sleep. I guess we wouldn't have had to camp, did we? The creaking of the bed shifts as you wake up. When you open your eyes, you see the room is still dark with the candle faintly flickering. It must have only been 2 or 3 hours. The noise of argument from downstairs has ceased, but when you look at the door, you notice a faint light seeping through from below. Someone must still be awake. Okay, well, I think this is a great place to pause. We have rested, and we will pick up with more adventure in the town of Compass next time. So if you guys enjoyed the start of Herald of the Mist, if you enjoyed the series, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see the next video of Herald of the Mist or the other videos I have going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!